Everybody, Daniel Whited, and I tell you what, I am excited about this call. I may not be able to go back and forth with Doc as much as we normally do because we're driving from appointment to appointment today because we care about family. We care about what's going on out there. And Doc does the same thing. He takes care of his mom and dad and is there for them. And Helen's mom and dad's looking for a community to live in, and they want to move into this region of the country because they need to be in this kind of climate. And so you want to stop. When we talk about the world being your waiting room, and you know, you want to stop and be there for friends and family and love on them and do some things. But, Doc, we're excited about the topic today. So many people want to know more about 4Restore. And, you know, we had a question earlier. Someone's just getting a little bit of a headache when they're taking it, and they were doing 2 or 3 and now 1 or 2. And, I mean, we can get into some of that as well towards the end of the call. But everybody, Dr. Kirk Fisnick's in the house. And he's our resident doctor to all the field reps and everybody out there, and he's just taken so many phone calls and emails and helped so many people. And, Doc, just want to celebrate and honor you for that. That's a big deal to Miss Helen and I, to find someone in our lives that cares enough to stop, put the brakes on life, and love on people and get them going the right direction. So thank you so much, Doc. Welcome to the call. And let's pop into 4Restore. And, you know, Doc, good morning.
Hey, good morning, DW. And like you said, yeah, what an awesome product. When when Tom introduced this last year, I looked at the ingredients and I thought, holy cow, now we've got a product. I've been, you know, kind of since my motorcycle accident especially, you know, I went through a stage of depression. I gained some weight. My blood pressure went up, and I've kind of been battling those things for the last 10 years. And really, I started taking 4Restore, and I was saying on the morning call today that I started taking it just at the recommended dose of 5 per day, and I noticed within the first week that my blood pressure dropped. Now, we can't go out and make claims. We can't go out and tell people, hey, use this instead of blood pressure medication. You know, so I'm going to say this, and if I was typing it, I'd be capitalizing it. Don't say that. Don't go out and get people off their high blood pressure medication. Get yourself in trouble doing that. But it supports that. And what I try and tell people is that when you're taking a product like this, you know, Suzanne was saying that she noticed like some headaches. Well, what is it doing? It's helping to restore the function of the blood vessels. It's doing a lot more than that. But what happens is that when you restore the function of the blood vessels, they're more flexible, they're more pliable, and so the blood pressure is going to go down. And for somebody, you know, a lot of women, what I've seen is that it does tend to maybe cause some lightheadedness, maybe some headaches, because it's changing the blood flow. And so cut back, take just a smaller dose, and then you can gradually build up. Sometimes you don't need a full dose. And then there's people like me, and probably you too, DW. I mean, I take 10 a day, right? I take 10 a day, and I find that for me, that's what I need to get what I need out of it. And I go to the gym. I'm at the gym an hour and a half every day, and then now that's, you know, I'm saying summer's here, but really it's spring. But for me in North Dakota, it's summer, and so I'm going for an hour and a half long walk with my dog every day, and just getting outside, and I find that I don't have any recovery time when I go to the gym. I mean, yesterday I went there, and I really tried to push it because I thought, you know, I want to see what's the max that I can do. I want to tear things up a little bit and build some muscle mass, and I came home and I felt a little sore for about an hour, and I woke up this morning. I feel great. I mean, it feels like I didn't go to the gym. I'm like, what the heck? And so, I mean, I really believe that it's not just this product, but it's all the products working together in combination. So DW, Suzanne, that's what I would tell you is that, you know, you're probably having a little bit of a drop in your blood pressure. Maybe not so much if you measure your blood pressure. It's probably not dropping, but dropping to certain areas. So that's probably the cause of that. You know, DW, as we look at the printed material, the material on the website, the things that we can say. You know, it says that it revitalizes, it increases your body's amount of nitric oxide. And nitric oxide, it's been called the miracle molecule because it helps with anti-aging, it helps with the arteries. We've heard a lot of people talking about L-arginine since the Nobel Prize was given to that group of scientists for their work with L-arginine. We've all heard of a product that's been on the market called Viagra, all based on the Nobel Prize science. And in 4Restore, you know, with the ingredients that are in it, the science says that the ingredients will help improve libido, not just in men but in women as well. And like I was saying, it helps with muscles. It helps, you know, make it so that I can work out heavy and rebuild the muscles real quickly. And, you know, like I was saying, it boosts the testosterone levels. And that's not just for men. That's women, too. And we all need some testosterone. It helps with circulation. It improves the function of the brain. And I'm gonna get into that just a little bit more by talking about the actual ingredients. So, DW, anything that you want to add at this point before I kind of get into the ingredients?
Is very, you know, and your body will adjust when you put 4Restore in it, and even something as Spectramax. It takes your body once your body adjusts, then it's good to go. And so you do dink around with some of the what we call dosages too, because everyone's different. It's what Tom said, you know, exact something.
No, you're kind of cutting out, in and out there, DW. You must be in a bad position.
Yeah, get ready to go down an elevator, then I'll be right back.
Okay. I was going to say, turn your head to the left.
You crack me up, brother.
At least you didn't fall for my April Fool's joke.
I just about did, buddy. I almost did.
Hey, while he's going down the elevator, I tell everybody what I did. I gave DW the number for the Fargo Zoo, and I said, hey, call Mr. Lyon, Lyon. Call Mr. Lyon. He really wants to talk to you about Sisel. But DW didn't fall for it. Almost. My buddy out of Canada, he fell for it. But getting into the ingredients, you know, till DW gets down here. You know, when Tom was trying to come up with his product, he was really looking for something that's going to make people feel good. It's going to make them recover. We start looking at some of the things that happen as we age. You know, as we age, we tend to lose some of that sexual function. So we need something for that. We tend to kind of start losing some muscle mass. Start looking at some of the older people around you. All of a sudden, they start losing muscle mass. Here's a product that it's got its ingredients that really increase that muscle mass, help you retain muscle mass. The other thing is, as people age, they tend to have poor circulation. And so the ingredients in here are going to help with circulation. And so those are some of the things that we notice. And then we start having decreased brain function as we get older. You know, you hear people getting dementia and Alzheimer's, and so we have decreased brain function. So think of that. That's why it's called 4Restore. 4 things that it's doing that's going to help restore the function as you age. And so sexual function, brain function, circulation, and muscle mass. Those are the 4 things. So if you're going out there and you're marketing that, remember those 4 things, and it's a great product to talk about. One of the ingredients is called Uricoma longifolia, and it comes from over in the Southeast Asian region. It's been used for years and years and years. Postpartum depression. You get women who have just had a baby. Their neurotransmitters are kind of messed up a little bit. They've been producing a lot of natural painkillers to kind of block that pain of the birthing process, and it messes around with the brain. And so they found that this ingredient will help with recovery from that. But they also find that it works as an aphrodisiac, right? And it's been marketed that for a lot of years. It's also been marketed as an energy booster, as a stamina booster. It improves circulation. It improves testosterone. So think of the things that I just said. Those are part of the 4 things that 4Restore does. But the other thing is that and another ingredient is called L-citrulline. It's a non-essential amino acid, which means that essential amino acids mean you have to take it in from your diet. This is one that you don't have to. But what happens is when L-citrulline gets into your kidneys, it converts the L-citrulline into L-arginine. And L-arginine helps with the production of nitric oxide. And nitric oxide, again, we take a look at the Nobel Prize Science. They were given to these gentlemen because they discovered something that they called Viagra, right? But not only that, they found that the L-citrulline is important to relaxing the heart, relaxing the blood vessels. It boosts the immune system. It improves the blood flow throughout your body. And that's really, really important, because if you've got fresh blood flowing everywhere, you've got fresh nutrients. If you've got fresh nutrients, you've got cells that are healthy. You've got fresh oxygen being carried to all the cells. I mean, and think about that. You just know that oxygen is good for you. So working with that, and then if we combine it with our super hydrogen, the H2 machine, I mean, holy cow. And so I just tell people it's kind of a 1-2 punch. I'll take my 4Restore, I'll drink it down with a glass of hydrogen water, and it helps out, and a lot of different things. And they're saying that the nitric oxide helps to lower blood pressure. Again, we can't say 4Restore lowers blood pressure, but we can say there's an ingredient, there's science behind using this, because it boosts nitric oxide levels. Nitric oxide levels lower blood pressure. And so we can talk about that. The other thing is that when you look at L-citrulline in children, it's helped with preventing blood pressure complications in children who have had heart surgery. A friend of mine down in Australia, he called me last Thursday, just 5 days ago, and he was just super excited. His girlfriend was having a heart surgery. She had some congenital heart problems, and she was in the hospital having some work done, and using the 4Restore, they were able to keep her blood pressure under control while they did the surgery. And so really, really, really good. The L-citrulline, one of the things that they say on the internet about it is that it helps with easing symptoms of erectile dysfunction. And what they say, it doesn't work as good as the Viagra, which is a drug, but it's a safe option for people. And it also helps with people with slow wound healing. If somebody's got diabetes and they've got the open wounds from diabetes, 4Restore is a really, really good product for that. My dad, who was suffering from a rare form of lymphoma, a year ago, January 2016, Mayo Clinic told him that his kidneys were starting to fail and his liver was failing, to the point where they were suggesting that he might have to be a candidate for liver transplant, and he might have to be a candidate for having some kidney dialysis done. And he was starting to lose muscle tone. I mean, if you saw my dad, all of a sudden he went from being that vibrant 70-some-year-old man to looking like, kind of a little old man. He was starting to get that hunched over look. He was losing muscle mass. And when 4Restore came out, I put him on the product immediately. And that was in June. And by October of last year, by last fall, my dad had put his lean muscle mass back on. He put on 20 pounds of lean muscle mass, and he continues to put the weight on. And it's not fat weight. It's not bad weight. He's putting on muscle mass. So one of the things that they say about L-citrulline is that it improves muscle protein levels, and it prevents malnourishment in the elderly. Again, take a look in the nursing home. Look on the nursing home. What's some of the problems that go on in nursing home? People are getting malnourished. Here you have a product that's got L-citrulline that's going to help out with that. The other thing is that there's studies on it that show that it helps out with damage caused by radiation. So if you know people who have gone through radiation for chemo, this is a great product to use. I've got well, actually it's my brother, and he's going to be going through some radiation treatment here on the 10th, with just a week from now, and you can bet your bottom dollar that he's going to have some 4Restore sitting around his house. It's going to be sitting around in his car. It's going to be sitting around in his garage. It's going to be sitting around in his business. There's going to be a bottle of 4Restore everywhere he looks, and I'm going to make sure that there's a bottle there everywhere he looks, so it reminds him to take it. another ingredient. DW, are you back? Are you down the elevator shaft yet?
In back.
Hey, you ever get on an elevator with a bunch of people and say, hey, this isn't an elevator, it's a time machine?
I have not done that yet, but I'll probably take your suggestion and make it happen, you know. You start talking about how this helps with some of the oxygen levels. I get quite a few calls on that. How does 4Restore help with oxygen?
Yep, and I'll get into that. That's one of the other ingredients that's coming up here on the end of it here. So, but yeah, so right now, you know, just thinking about the two things, you know, we've talked about sexual function and building muscle mass, improving the immune system just with those ingredients. Then we get into Gotu Kola. And DW and I talked about Gotu Kola here not too long ago. It's actually one of the ingredients that's in our coffee. It's in our green tea. What does Gotu Kola do? Well, they discovered that over in the Southeast Asia, that it improves memory. It improves harmonizing of the brain and the mind. It makes it so that you have a really good connection between the left and the right brain. And that's really important because the left and right brain have different functions when you go out and do things today. Your left and right brain, one is controlling kind of those emotional thoughts, and the other one is more kind of your logical thinking. And so if you have a good connection between that, not only can you have a good emotional thing going on, but you can also have logic. You can think with logic. And you know, there's a number of people in our country now that need to start taking this product because they aren't thinking logically, but that's another story. But DW, they found that it helps with cognition. It helps it make it so that people can think more clearly. It improves the way that you know, like when somebody asks you a question, all of a sudden, instead of sitting there going, okay, I know the answer to that. I know the answer to that. And you keep thinking and thinking and thinking, and all of a sudden it comes to you. What would you like if all of a sudden somebody asks you a question and boom, the answer just pops right to the tip of your tongue, just like that. That's the kinds of things that you get with Gotu Kola. So it restores the brain cells. It restores the nerve function. It restores the quality, the blood flow to the brain. But some of the other things that it does is it also helps with wound healing. Remember earlier we were talking about diabetic sores, you know, because of complications of blood sugar. Well, here we got a product that speeds up the healing of wounds. So this, combined with the other ingredients, is going to help with that. And it just makes it so that people are going to have just some intense changes in their brain. It's one of the products, like Tom said when he was on the boat, he forgot to bring it with, and he noticed it in 1 week. I mean, he noticed it. He probably noticed it the next day. I never missed this product. I packed a bunch of it in little baggies in my suitcase so that I knew that I wouldn't run out. It's just a really good product. It also takes, and it repairs the axons, the nerve axons. When you take a look at a nerve cell, there's actually, probably the easiest way, I'm trying to make this so that everybody can think about, visualize this. Think about it like you have your fuse box in your house and you have wires coming out of that. Well, if those wires get frayed and damaged, all of a sudden they're going to start shorting out and you're going to have problems. In the human body, what diseases are caused by things like that? Well, like MS and Lou Gehrig's disease and other types of nerve degenerative type of diseases. And so when you take Gotu Kola, it actually repairs those nerve cells. Again, we can't say that about 4Restore, but we can say that about Gotu Kola, right? So this is the key. I'm trying to give everybody a tip that when you're talking about products, don't talk about the product. Talk about the ingredients, because there's all sorts of science on this. Gotu Kola has been used for anti-anxiety, anti-stress. I'll tell you what, I take this product every day. I got lots of things going on. I have 9 things I should be doing right now, and I just don't feel stressed at all. Everything just seems to fall in place, and part of it is because I think I take this. It's been called the herb of enlightenment. And you can be intensely absorbed with with one activity over here and all, but you can be thinking about something else. You can be multitasking and getting those things done all at the same time. What a great ingredient to have in a product. And if you take it along with the Sisel coffee or the Sisel green tea, you're getting another dose. And if you're drinking a pot of the Sisel coffee like I used to, I mean, it's like you're a super brain or something. I don't know. And the other ingredient that I guess I really talk about a lot, we've been hearing a lot about it. If you listen to any XM satellite radio in your car, I drive a lot. They talk about beet juice, beetroot extract, and you hear a lot about this. And so the beet juice, it also works to improve stamina. You notice kind of a connection here. Tom's putting ingredients together that work together. He's putting ingredients together that do the same thing so that we can have a good improvement. We're not just going to have a little bit. Like Tom says, we're not just taking the chicken and waving over a pot of boiling water and saying we're having chicken soup. We're actually putting the chicken in the soup. And so with the beet juice, it makes it so you can exercise longer. I mean, like I said, I'm going to the gym. I'm working out an hour and a half to 2 hours a day. And hey, you guys got to realize this. I haven't been going to a gym for 30 years. I started in January. 30 years since I really went to a gym. And I went there, and I have no recovery time. My personal trainer, he said, well, you're going to be sore tomorrow. And I came back the next day, and I said, I feel great. Let's hit it again. And beet juice, it improves blood flow. It lowers blood pressure. It helps to carry oxygen around the body. Again, DW asked about that. It helps to carry oxygen around the body, and it works to change nitrates to nitric oxide. Right? We hear a lot of people saying, "Don't eat a lot of red meat because it has nitrates in it." Right? Well, what if you could change those nitrates to nitric oxide? Nitric oxide is beneficial for the body. All of a sudden now you got guys like me who are red meat eaters, and all of a sudden we're getting blood flow, we're getting our blood pressure under control. It's just simply amazing. The beets have folate, which is a natural form of folic acid. They got potassium. They got vitamin C and lots of fiber. Did you know that in America we're supposed to be getting 25 grams of fiber in our diet, but the average person is only getting 12. So here we have a source of fiber, and we're getting antioxidants, and it's all right in there. And then the last ingredient that I really wanted to hit on was something called ginseng. It's American ginseng, and you don't want to confuse that with Siberian ginseng because they have different properties. And what ginseng does is it boosts the immune system. The ginsencides help with insulin, right? And DW and I have been talking for 12 weeks now on losing weight and getting your metabolism up. And insulin is such an important hormone dealing with that and keeping the blood sugars under control. Ginseng, American ginseng, helps out with that. Glutamine helps to minimize the breakdown of muscles. We were talking about in the beginning of the call that one of the serious problems that we have as we age is you start to have catabolism of the muscle where it breaks down. And so now we have glutamine. It's one of the most common amino acids that's found in your body. In fact, 61% of your skeletal muscle is made up of glutamine, and it helps to rebuild the muscle when you're working out, when you have a job that causes you to have intense muscle use. Glutamine is broken down, it's depleted, and so when you take glutamine levels for 6 days, they're saying that it can restore the glutamine levels back up to normal, and it prevents the catabolism, it prevents the breakdown. But the other thing that glutamine does, it increases your body's ability to secrete something called HGH, which is your human growth hormone. And what this will do is it'll also help with, it makes it so you burn fat and you build new muscle. And again, as we're going through life, that's what you want, is you want to have more lean muscle. You want to make it so that you burn up the sugar levels. They're saying that it helps to boost the growth hormones. In some studies, they're saying by over 400%. They're saying that ulcers, if you have ulcers, you take glutamine, they're saying that they have a 92% cure rate in 4 weeks. So if you know somebody that suffers from acidity-type problems, acid reflux, and again, we can't say cure, but you can say glutamine has been helping with this, and it boosts the white blood cells. It helps with people with muscle wasting diseases, like I was talking about, like with cancer, people have HIV types of problems. Here's a product that's just so important. So DW, I know you were going down the elevator. I just jumped on and I guess I lectured a little bit instead of having a conversation with you. We've got about 5 minutes left. Now that you're not calling Mr. Lion at the zoo, what's your thoughts?
Man, I have got so many people that I want to get this call out to, just to be honest with you. A good friend of ours named Rock, he's interested in what we're doing product-wise, and I'm anxious for him to hear what's going on. And Miss Helen and I are also very, very excited about the product. And I mean, a lot of people go he over the sexual functionality of the product, but I am telling you, that's one of the things. It's kind of like oxygen. It's kind of like what's going on in your blood, what's happening there. It's an indicator, and getting all functions of your body healthy and operating them at optimal health is what we are 100% all about. And so, and that's the direction that we're headed with people. So I'm excited. Now, when you add to this product, I mean, you're talking about brain health, you're talking about heart health, you're talking about prostate and sexual health and the whole 9 yards there, and you get into oxygen levels. You add the triangle of life with this product, and I am telling you, in some sizzling, you're putting yourself in a position to get healthy on a fast track, and that's my opinion. Now, all we can talk about is case studies, and I'm a case study when it comes to this product and a couple others, and keeping notes on what's going on and where I'm at. I was glad to know that it supports heart health as well, that's a biggie. I mean, if you can sit there and get your blood pressure to a better level, Doc, that is a game changer. So thank you so much for doing this call today on this particular topic. We'll be getting out the topic for everybody else for next week a little bit ahead of time, maybe a couple photos and a little promo on it might be something we do as well. So, Doc, thank you. And anything you want to close before we shut this thing down?
I was just going to say this, DW. I mean, think about this. When you go out there and you talk to people, DW brought up the triangle of life, The triangle of life is kind of your core. It's your core nutrition, right? And you got to get people taking that core nutrition because it's like having a foundation. And now we're going to build on that, right? And so you take the 4Restore, you add it to the foundational products, the core products with the triangle of life. Boom, you're going to just get some tremendous results with that. You take that and you add the Super Omega Plus. It's got the CoQ10 in it. It's got the different forms of the omega acids, the omega fats, and all of a sudden now you're going to have. I mean, you really will have one of the healthiest hearts in your neighborhood. And like DW said, some people kind of joke around a little bit about sexual function and things like that, but it's essential for a good relationship. If you want to have a good relationship, you have to have that part in there. Otherwise, it's going to start failing. It's just, I mean, God put us here for certain things, and that's one of them. And so, DW, that's just kind of my final thoughts. Back to you.
I tell you what, Doc, we appreciate you, buddy, and we appreciate what you're doing. That's it for the doctor's clinic, and I tell you what, it's where the world's your waiting room, and our resident doctor, Dr. Kurt Fisnick, is absolutely fantastic. We appreciate all the information that you're bringing. Everybody, you're going to want to pop this out to a few people and say, there's some fantastic, because there is interesting information here that could be a game changer for you, and a lot of being healthy is operating in prevention. And when you're on a product like Triangle of Life, combine it with Sizzling and 4Restore, you're preventing a lot of things. You're putting yourself in a position to prevent some things that could possibly happen to you. Doc, we love you, brother. Thank you so much for being part of this call and running with it today. And everybody, that's it.
Have a good day.